Here at SAO, we love to needlessly categorize everything into neat little lists in order to metagame and min-max better.
I knew it!
Oh crap, I read that wrong. I totally meant to help build more believable characters with fitting backstories.
Wrong!
But when you're building your totally believable and well-balanced character, which I totally always do, we know that some cantrips massively outshine others in their use for roleplay and combat. Here are our picks at SIO for the 6 cantrips that someone in your party absolutely needs to have. Okay, I want to nip this one in the bud, because how can we talk about cantrips without mentioning the most iconic damaging spell by everyone's favorite edgelord magic-y guy, Eldridge Blast. Now this is more than just a sound that warlocks make when they're aroused. It actually deals a significant amount of damage at no cost to your spell slot, which is nice, because as we all know, being a warlock comes at a great cost, sucking up to your higher management. But all the butt kissing you'll have to do will totally pay off, as you get to blast several beams of deadly spoop out at your enemies and friends alike. This cantrip is the Warlock Swiss Army knife. Need to persuade an NPC? Eldritch Blast! Need to win a cart race? Eldritch Blast! Need to open a vial of spell components so that your wizard can seal away the greatest evil? Eldritch Blast! It literally works in every situation. Or rather, as a warlock with 3 spells, you'll find a way. On a more serious note, we have the actual Swiss Army knife cantrips. Prestidigitation. Right. This spell is great and has uses both in and out of combat. I mean, this spell is on the list simply because we all know deep down we wish it existed in real life. I can't tell you how many times I was on a long, boring conversation I wished I could just make the sound of my phone ringing so I could have an excuse to leave and do literally anything else. But in Dungeons & Dragons, it has even better uses. You can make it smell like the king hath farted, or light a candle so you can choose not to read the obvious clue left by the dungeon master. And you can even use it to flavor yourself like broccoli when a dire wolf is stomping down on your arm to get it to stop. At least that last one seems like it would work. I don't know. Either way, this spell is a must-have. Massage is a great way to make and keep friends, while simultaneously creeping them out. Some say that massaging should only be done between close party members. Oh crap, I read that wrong. It's message. Ooh. Well, the point remains, message is a creepy and fantastic spell to have in your party. Think of it like fantasy walkie-talkies, a thing that children use to communicate secretly while their parent dungeon master listens in and takes notes. Also, like walkie-talkies, the message can be blocked by dense barriers, so best not try to use this cantrip to speak to your cleric standing behind your barbarian. Toll of the Dead is easily the edgiest cantrip on the list. You'll point at enemy, and in their ears they hear the ringing opening of Dio's Holy Diver. Then the baddie needs to make a wisdom save to acknowledge that Dio is one of the greatest metal vocalists of all time, or suffer a ton of damage. More importantly, if your victim target refuses this point, even after you've made it so painfully obvious by you or your teammates, they'll take even more damage, which they probably deserve. And don't get me started on what happens if the target says they like the cover version more. Vicious Mockery, as I know all too well from being a middle school student once, can not only hurt my feelings, but also put me off my game. I mean the target. It hurts the target's feelings. And I'm an adult, and I'm way above letting people let me get to me about my eyebrows. It's excuse me, I need a second. So this cantrip is pretty obvious to its use if you've ever been a human child. Once your character picks out the target's one imperfection, that literally isn't an issue because tons of people in other countries like thick eyebrows. Excuse me. They make some save and then maybe get distracted or something. What was I doing? Oh yeah, bards are the worst. Gust is a cool cantrip we all know very well from its cameo in the Pokemon games. Not much has changed since it blew into Dungeons & Dragons. Get it? So just like the cantrip implies, it deals wind damage, which, if you're not careful, will knock away the perfect IV Weedle that you've been searching for in the tall grass for the past hour. Beyond its uses against bug types, Gust can be used to blast away incriminating evidence, or to power a windmill that will run electricity to your shredder to remove incriminating evidence, or to fan the flames of your campfire. so you can burn incriminating evidence. Let's be real, your party's full of murder hobos. You're probably gonna need this one. Mage Hand is easily the spell loved by perverts or pre-vertical players that need help to reach high places.
What?
Oh, I just heard myself. Are you telling me I've been using that word wrong?
No one calls short people perverts. Duh.
Okay, Mage Hand is a cantrip where you can loot things, grab things, squeeze things, and pitch things, all while not being seen. You know, the more I talk, the more I'm thinking the pervert thing was dead accurate. Regardless, this spell is super helpful for your gnomes and dwarves, but can also be good for any magic user that just needs a third hand. Last on the list, we have Druidcraft, which is a blatant copyright infringement on prestidigitation. Okay. However, this cantrip, I argue, is way more useful, mainly because a normal human can pronounce it. Did you think about that? Even though it's labeled as a cantrip, a keen observer might be able to notice that all of the effects are totally natural to any druid. Create a fake skunk smell? Ha! Nice excuse, hippie druid who hasn't showered since the start of the campaign. You can predict the weather, or does your druid just have bad knees that flare up before it rains? Either way, I was required by law to include this cantrip because it's the same as our number 2 on the list. Now you lawyers can get off my back now, okay? Jeez, wizards, am I right? So do you agree with us or do you disagree? Do you think that we should have put that one, the one that, you know, can't be said by a human? Should we put that higher? If you think we're on point, give us a like. It really helps the video and the channel, helps boost us around so we could get more subscribers and all that fun jazz. And if you think we missed one, put it in the comments down below. I love talking about D&D. We all love talking about D&D, and we loved going through the book and just kind of hitting up on this stuff. And if you want to make us super duper happy, please hit that subscribe button. One press of that button makes any min-maxer in your campaign roll a critical fail. I mean, we can argue that it's your civic duty as a role player to hit that button. If you like this video, make sure you hit this video right here. It's our high school D&D episode, and you can watch us misusing cantrips every month. Or you can try this video down here, which is what the CR30 monster known as the YouTube algorithm has decided you would like best. See you in the next video.